Council meetings and Robert's Rules of Order. Council meetings. The University Students' Council, or USC, is required to meet at least once a month, though it typically meets weekly. USC meetings are held every Thursday at 6 p.m. during Term 1 and 2. They occur at the Roy Romanov Student Council Chamber in Place Riel during normal sessions. What are USC meetings like? While the USSU president is the official authority at USC meetings, the chairperson presides over the USC. The USSU chair is chosen by the president. Council meetings are formal. Whispering or side conversations are disrespectful and discouraged. However, a motion can be made to enter a time of informality, which allows for more relaxed conversation with the presenter. All comments or questions during this time do not need to receive permission from the chair, though this is still helpful in keeping order. Quorum. The USC must reach quorum before being called to order. What is quorum? Quorum is, according to the USSU bylaw, a majority of voting members of the council. For the USC, the voting members consist of the USSU executives and the members of Students' Council, or MSCs. Meeting order. Every USC meeting begins with a call to order and a land acknowledgement. Then we vote on the adoption of the agenda. Next is introductions. These include introductions of the person presenting the council address and any guest speakers. Next we have minutes and reports for information. Then we have motions arising from the minutes and reports. Next we have college and constituency reports. Next we have a time for business and new business. Finally, we end with questions, comments, and announcements before adjourning. Agenda. Each meeting's agenda is emailed to all counselors and USSU executives a minimum of 24 hours before each meeting. This is an example of how an agenda summary may look. Subpoints are regularly added under points 6, 7, 8, 10, and 11. In-camera sessions. An in-camera session refers to the most private and confidential session of the council. Camera means chamber in Latin, and this refers to a meeting in a private room. When an in-camera session is called during a council meeting, all non-voting members, including the chair, are asked to leave. Everything discussed during an in-camera session is confidential. Robert's Rules of Order. What is Robert's Rules of Order? Robert's Rules of Order is a guide to conducting meetings and procedures. It is used by most professional and governmental organizations and provides structure and protocol for meetings. All USC meetings are conducted under Robert's Rules of Order. Receiving permission to speak under Robert's Rules of Order. Before speaking, all members of council must raise their hand. The chair will acknowledge them when appropriate, in the order they raise their hand, and give them permission to speak. This is called having the floor. For example, the chair may say, "Councillor Baumann, you now have the floor," at which point Councillor Baumann can speak. The councillor will respond with, "Thank you, Chair," and then begin speaking. The chair has the authority to deny any or all requests to take the floor. Making a motion. To make a motion, a councillor raises their hand. The chair acknowledges and gives them permission to speak. The councillor states their desired motion. Please note that the councillor is always welcome to ask for help with the details and specific wording of their motion. Seconding a motion. In order for a motion to be debated and eventually put to a vote, it must be seconded. The chair will call for a seconder once the motion has been raised. The seconder typically states their name and says, "I second the motion." A member of council does not have to be in favor of the motion to second it. By seconding it, they are simply ensuring that the motion is discussed. A motion. The process. First, a motion is presented to council. The motion is seconded. Next, the motion is debated. At this point, the motion can be amended. This is optional. If an amendment is put forward, it is then debated. The amendment next is accepted or rejected via vote. From here, the debate continues on the original motion. The motion is voted upon, and finally the chair announces if the motion has passed. Voting protocol. The chair will call a time of voting by first restating the motion under discussion. Next, the chair will say, "All in favor," and anyone who supports the motion will raise their hand and keep it raised until the chair says, "All against." At this point, anyone not in favor of the motion must raise their hand. The chair will then ask, "Any abstentions?" Once the vote is taken, the chair will announce the results. For example, 10 in favor, 6 against, the motion passes. A winning vote is a majority vote. In some special instances, it is a 2/3 majority. Points of order, information, or privilege. Members of council can also call for points. These are not motions and are the rare instance where the speaker does not need to receive permission from the chair before speaking. However, it is still polite for the speaker to raise their hand and wait for the chair's acknowledgement before stating their point. Points can be inserted at any time during a meeting, presentation, or debate. Point of order. When attention needs to be drawn to a breach in protocol, policy, procedure, etc. It is appropriate to raise a point of order when a rule has been broken. Point of information. Asking for additional information that may be relevant to or helpful to clarify the matter discussed or debated. Point of personal privilege. When the physical location is not comfortable, for example, too hot, cold, loud, quiet, etc., or when someone's conduct is not appropriate.